What's really good, DGBA YouTube? It's your boy Jjbizzle, aka Young Cloister, aka Shell Smashing Yo Girl, aka my icicle spear always hits 5 times, aka rapid spinning on these nuts. Anyway, bringing you the first PRs of the Sword and Shield meta for Season 10 of the DGBA Speed Boost Division, and I am joined by a couple people. How we doing?
Terrible.
What?
Because it's the time of year. It's PRs.
PRs, yes. And I am joined by one more person. He is now. Can I say his real name on DGBA?
No. Yeah, you just
Jeremy, how we doing?
Hello.
Let's vibe.
Were you gonna call him the other name?
Yes,
bro?
I was. I was just playing with it. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are gonna get started on these PRs. We have ranked them 16 through 1, and we're gonna go starting from the back on down. So number 16, I should say, is KHD in the Jersey Pursuit. His team is Dracovish, Tapu Lele, Skarmory, Incineroar, Mega Venusaur, Galvantula, Donphan, Blissey, Jellicent, Cryogonal, and Machoke. Who wants to start on this team?
I think
the Machoke threw me off. I apologize.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think the choke on the Machoke was kind of a.
Well, I said Machamp was gonna come out of my mouth, and then and I saw it said choke, and I was like, wait, what? So yeah, we're good. So who wants to start on this team?
I'm questioning why the Machoke is a better fit than like a lot of the other mods.
Yeah, I mean, this is first of all, this is a free draft.
Yeah.
So there's like no real like price restrictions or tiering or anything. So the fact that there's like a random Machoke on this team, I don't really get it myself. Maybe maybe Kechi is like some like it's a mon that he's really comfortable with, but I feel like there were like a lot of other better fighting types he could have gotten. Even something like Gerda, I think, just completely like outclassed his Machoke in every possible way.
Isn't it better in bulk, attack, abilities, everything? Like, isn't it just
I mean, I guess Machoke gets bullet punch over, but then Gerda gets muck punch. So I can't think of any sort of positive.
I mean, the thing is, even if you got like a better fighting type, I don't think it would have mattered much.
So I think that's what we should go into. Let's go into the core of the team. Let's go into, so who wants to start with the actual core of the team? Let's worry about Machoke later.
Yeah, so I think I think the problem with his team is he has a Lele and he has a Dracovish, and both of them are really, really good breakers. This team is so slow. Like, his fastest mon is Galvantula.
The thing is, he got Dracovish and Lele. Those are like really, really good breakers. Really good breakers. And if they are Scarf, they can still do a lot of damage while being like doing damage. But once you draft those two, you're kind of setting yourself up for like bulky offense, kind of. And he kind of just went more the balance, right, like being really fat, which is weird.
He could have gone H.O. as well.
Yeah,
he could have got like a lot of fast ones to like pick off. Like,
I think the best way to do this would have been like getting a fast one, like a really fast mon, and then maybe momentum, something else, like a bit like my team has. I think you know my team, right?
Yeah, I know it.
Like a bit like that. Like, it's fast and it's got a lot of breakers, and then it's got a lot of backbone. Like this team is a lot of backbone. There's no sweepers, which is kind of a bit of a problem.
And like we say that like he had like those are like really good breakers. It's actually like one of the only few breakers on this team. Like, even on the special side, I think Lele's really his only like special breaker, unless you want to count Mega Venusaur, which I'm not really sure if I'd count that as a special breaker.
Incineroar can do a lot of damage still. So.
He can possibly, but then on the special side, it needs to set up something like a nasty plot in order to do that.
I also think some of the mons were a bit taken early. Like, I think Dracovish was taken early.
Yeah, I don't think Dracovish is a round 1 pick in draft at least.
I mean, he did say like, yeah, I just want a Dracovish. Like, that's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah, he did get Lele round 2, although it was worth.
And he got Lele round 2, which is really good. But then
it is worth considering the fact
I don't think Scarm is a round 3 pick.
He does have webs. I think that's something to point out.
Yeah. But I feel like he's going to become really reliant on them,
which is never good because I think Rapid Spin is very prevalent this gen.
Yeah, but even if he does like put the webs up, it's kind of, what does it really do for him?
I mean, it just helps Dracovish and Lele break, but
yeah, a little bit, but like still.
The rest of his team doesn't maybe take as much advantage.
Yeah.
I think there's a few mons. Just getting back to the whole Machoke issue. There's Lucario there. All the Hitmons are still there. I mean, Hitmonlee would kind of be interested on this team with the Unburden shenanigans. Just give him a little more speed. I mean, I'm just trying to give him some speed. But obviously, if he wanted that Bullet Punch tech, Lucario is a thing. Breloom is also a thing. I think there's a ton of other fighting types that kind of fit a little bit better.
I feel like half the fighting types would probably be relevant
Right.
for Choke.
Even a regular Gallade would be more fun, I think. But
Yeah.
especially with Psychic Terrain, maybe help from Lele.
I guess Machoke is like a fine flex, but at the same time, you're flexing when you have nothing.
Yeah, right.
I think seeing the first two picks, if he would have drafted speed plus momentum, I think the team would be disgusting.
Like, if I'm gonna be honest, like I think the Incineroar is a really nice pickup because like
I think Incineroar fits this team well.
Incineroar with Dracovish and Lele was a really good pickup, and he uses Donphan really well, so I don't think that's a weird pickup at all, either. The rest of the team is kind of weird. Like I think Skarm could fit well. As a
I do like Skarm plus Blissey plus Venusaur. I think without Z, that is a nasty core to try to break. So maybe he's going with a triple nasty you can't break me core into Lele plus Dracovish doing all of the work.
Yeah, but then the rest of the team, like there are four mons that are, you know,
that could have done other things.
I feel like with that, it just makes his team become way too predictable every week. Like you know what like each mon's like specifically gonna do, and I feel like that's gonna really hurt him.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because like it's basically as if he has like 2 tier 1s, a Mega Venusaur, a tier 2, and then like a lot of tier 4s and 5s. And
like I'm also not a fan of Cryogonal because it lost in power. It just doesn't really do much besides like
just a dedicated spinner. That's all it really is.
Yeah, but he already does Donphan, which
exactly.
Which does it better. I mean, you're gonna bring Donphan probably over that every week, unless there's a specific niche matchup that you're gonna fill with it.
And I think like a lot of the core is like bad, but then it isn't supported by the rest.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of there's some good cores, there's some good attacking cores, but it's kind of like it doesn't all fit together too well.
Yeah, I think like if you take away Galv, Jellicent, Cryogonal, Machoke, you could have a lot of synergy there.
I mean, being a free draft, I mean, what is there 3? Is there 3 free agent moves?
Yeah, free agent.
Right. I think he can work with the team, for a couple weeks and then kind of see where he needs to go.
Even then, I think you could still have Galvantula at the end. I think Jellicent, Cryogonal, and Machoke are kind of weird.
I mean, shoot, a Selgor wasn't even drafted.
Damn.
The GOAT. All right. Anyway, do you guys want to move on to the next team?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Dropping down to number 15. We have Abano and the Dunsparsenal FC. Gosh, you guys and your soccer names. I always get them. So the team is Celesteela, Mega Alakazam, Suicune, Terrakion, Toxtricity, Mandibuzz, Rillaboom, Sandaconda, Quillfish, All Creamy, and Ditto. He is going heavy with the Sword and Shield mons. Who would like to start?
I can start off with this. The first big thing I noticed is that Mandibuzz is the only removal on this team. And I remember actually, like, this time last season, I think I played KHD week 1, and Mandibuzz was his only remover. I didn't he didn't bring it, so I was able to get, like, a couple of spikes up versus his team, and I ended up really, really pressuring him. I don't think this is quite his Hazard week, although there are a lot of mons which don't appreciate Hazard stack on this team as such. I also think it's a pretty slow team. He only has 2 mons above, like, the base 100. And one of them's a Mega Zam, so Trachion's basically his fastest Scarfer, and then it goes to Suicune. So I think his team overall is pretty slow. I think it's okay. He's got some good fat in like Suicune and Celesteela. But overall, I think this is like a pretty mediocre team. Like he has a lot of new mons, so I feel like there's part of it just new toy syndrome, and some of them could work out. But I'm just not overall convinced as such.
I first had this team decently high, not like high, but it was like higher than 15. And then Haz was like, "Are you sure?" And then I looked again, and I was like, "Wait, wait." I get it now. Yeah, I think it's for one, his rockers are Sandaconda and Terrakion, which is does Sandaconda get rocks? I think so.
Yeah, Sandaconda gets rocks.
Terrakion is fucking bad. I'm just gonna say I don't think that's a
bad rocker or a bad mon.
I think it's a bad mon, but like I can see the appeal in it. as a rocker, I guess it can do some bits because it's like a bit like Nidoking. You just force them out when you rock up. And other than that, he has Quillfish for hazards, but at the same time, he doesn't like have a removal. Like a lot of the time, I don't draft good removal either, but I always have like a lot of hazard stacking myself, or have a team that isn't really weak to hazard at all. So, which he kind of does, you know.
Here's my question especially for Haz, because he tells me this about all the teams I draft. Is it not extremely weak to Bolt Beam? Like, I mean, his whole team's weak to Electric for the most part. Like,
I would say so.
His
The thing is this gen is that because Hidden Power's gone, it's slightly less of an issue.
right.
But obviously there are a lot of monsters still get Thunderbolt and Ice Beam.
But what's his switch into any electric mon? It's Sandaconda, correct?
Yeah.
That's not that. I mean, I'm looking at Sandaconda right now because that was kind of what I was gonna look into. It's not that great of a Pokemon. Like it's good at what it does, I guess, being defensive and hitting decently hard, but like it's not taking even a secondary special move from a electric type. Not even being ice, you know. I mean, I guess you can EV it, but I mean, Sandaconda being your only ground type is a little suspect to me, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like Sandaconda is
It's okay.
It's a weird Pokemon.
Yeah,
kinda.
I think it's okay, but I don't think it's.
I think it's not bad, Thunderconda.
I don't think it's gonna be bad, no. But I think it's a bit.
70 HP, 70
Awkward.
SPDF.
Yeah.
It's more of a physical. It's like a slightly worse Hippowdon. Well, it is a worse Hippowdon, basically.
Yeah,
But it also doesn't have reliable recovery at all.
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I think. That's why Hippo's so good because I mean, Slack Off is free. So.
Yeah. And,
That was just-
the difference between it and Hippo also is like it doesn't get toxic now. So
Yeah, that's a big thing. It doesn't get toxic.
I mean, it gets glare and it gets
glare,
shed
which is
skin
nice.
rest, but relying on
It's
that as your
just-
ice switching, I mean, I don't know. I just don't see. I see electric mons kind of wrecking through this team.
Yeah, Toxtricity can like maybe take them on. But
Yeah, it maybe take one. It's pretty frail.
Yeah.
it's
Like
pretty
I do like all the new mons he's drafted. Like I think they all have like some potential. I don't think any of them like amazing as such,
it's just
but
not
they can all maybe pull in work. But even overall, I just think there's like, I think the main issues. I think the speed, the fact that I do sort of like the Tracheon with like Zam and Selly maybe, but the fact that it's one of his only fastest ones, while Selly being one of his only stealth rock, I could see him running Scarf a lot of the times. And Scarf Stealth Rocks isn't like the most ideal thing you want to run most weeks.
I agree. I do like the
Yeah.
Ditto pickup. I think that's a good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like the pick 11 Ditto. I think Ditto's good in any draft format. I mean, it can come you have to prep for it. You have to understand that Ditto can be brought and can come in at any time on any setup
Your
mon
sweeper.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's always a good draft pick. So
He might have to sacrifice it to get like better removal or speed. I feel.
I mean, there's an all creamy
No,
right there.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
It
I
just-
think you can remove
Or
other-
yeah, or possibly. I mean, I don't mind. I feel like Alchemy could be okay. Could be an okay mon.
Fair enough. We can move on though. Oh no, this hurts me. To number 14, the worst JJ Gals, and the DC Umbreon. His team is Necrozma, Komao, Barraskewda, Mamoswine, Volcarona, Galarian Weezing, Decidueye, Obstagoon, Blastoise, Cobalion, and Gothitelle. Jeremy, would you like to start on this squad?
That's kind of what I wanted to name it. I wanted to name it a squad and not a team. It's like this is not coherent.
I got you. I got you on the setup. I got you. I just tossed it up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think it's a really coherent team at all. If that makes sense. It does have a lot of good mons, but I don't think that gets you a lot. Because like there are other teams in the division that also have a lot of good mons, but they actually do have synergy together. And this team also has a little bit of synergy, with Volcarona having a lot of hazard removal in the Mega Blastoise, for example, and a lot of stacking from Komao, Necrozma, Weezing. But I don't know. It works really weird. I don't know why he got off himself with a Necrozma. I don't know why he loves Barriscue to come out, because like he drafts that a lot. I don't know.
Does he draft
kind
a
of
lot?
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's done like 5 like Gen 8 drafts or leagues or something crazy.
Oh wow. Okay then.
I do really like Obstagoon. I don't know, because like it's really good in Galar decks. I don't know, it's gonna be worse in national decks, of course, but like I think it's a good pickup because he doesn't really have a good breaker, if that makes sense. It's like he has Mamoswine.
That's a pretty good break if you ask me.
Yeah, he has Mamoswine, which is really good, but it isn't the best, especially. I don't know, it's just kind of weird. If that makes sense. I do like Mega Blastoise that late because I got no. I mean,
Is that
it
Mega
is really good.
Blastoise?
That's a Mega Blastoise.
Has,
Yes.
what are you doing? I would have said
Is
Mega.
it? Did I write? What did I
It just
write?
says Blastoise.
Oh, okay. It's meant to be a Mega
It's a
Blastoise.
Mega
Okay.
Blastoise. Anyway,
I do
Mega
apologize.
Blastoise doesn't have Shell Smash, so I was gonna say that I really like that late, but at the same time, it doesn't get it. But it's still good with Rabbit Spin buff.
Yeah, it's
so
still
I-
it's still a
Yeah.
good Pokemon.
so
Rabbit
getting
Spin.
it that late is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think Weezing is really nice here. Kind of covers for a lot of weaknesses that he has. Like Dragon, it just kind of demolishes him, except for Mamoswine. And one thing that I don't like is that he used to really rock weak. Though he did get a Copalion to make up for that.
You're gonna be bringing them safety boots and all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like the moves of rock, like a Stone Edge from a Tyranitar will just eat him on.
Yeah. What's your
in
switching?
this.
Cobalion. It's only Cobalion, but
And then you get EQ'd and you die.
yeah, I don't think it dies to the combination.
Not really, no.
Cobalion's pretty bulky, but.
Yeah, it is. I think it's
Kaz,
just kind
you got
of
anything?
it doesn't really.
Yeah,
work.
I got a few things. I think this team's a bit unorthodox as such, like what Jeremy was saying. I think there's a lot of threats here, and I do see like some like offensive synergy. So stuff like Necrozma combo, which was first 2 picks. I can see some synergy there with combo being
Yeah.
able to break down a lot of Necrozma's checks. I think Barriscute and Volcarona is another decent offensive call. I think they can break each other's checks fairly well. But I think defensively, this is probably the worst draft out of all of these. Like he has no flying resist. I don't see a flying resist at least. And he
No,
has
there's
like
not.
I think there's like 3 mons weak to flying.
It is flying resist is burning with Volcarona.
Yeah.
That is true.
And then also he has a couple ghost weaknesses because he's obviously got the double psychics. And then his ghost resist is the Obstagoon, which is 4 times weak to fighting. So I think ghost types with focus blast could be a real problem for this team.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he had more momentum, I could see this team working out a bit better. I think it's only momentum's Decidueye and Cobalion. I think maybe like an extra like
Obstagoon.
momentum one.
Doesn't he have a
Oh.
parting shot or whatever?
Oh, does it?
Doesn't he has a move that switches him out? I thought.
Oh, it does. Right, you're right. You're right. I think it does.
I think it's special move switches him out. But regardless, yeah, that's what he does get parting shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I kinda
Okay.
said-
That's not as bad then.
I think I said it kind of weirdly, but it has kind of summed it up well. Like there's some synergy. You know, I think it's more. It's as if you're in a class and you have like all these classmates. You know, your class is really tight, but at the same time there's still groups in your class, and that's kind of what this thing is. And there is no defensive group, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and actually, one more big thing is he has no ground immunity on this team. Like EQ's pretty free on this team, more or less.
I mean, he does have Weezing.
Weezing doesn't
Levitate.
get.
Oh, it can get it. It's a bit.
It's an ability that he can use, but it's still not. You know, he's kind of relying on Blastoise a lot.
Yeah, that means he can't use its other ability. The
Neutralizing gas.
yeah.
The thing is, I
gas.
think a lot of the defensive capabilities are like thrown onto Blastoise, and it's like it doesn't get recovery.
I feel
It-
like
it
this.
just-
I feel
yeah.
like to sum up what you guys are saying, this team is between balance between hyper. It doesn't have an identity at all. Like
Yeah,
because it wants to be a defensive with Galarian Weezing being just existing, and then it wants to be wants to be kind of a bulkier offense. You know, you got your Mamoswine, your Komodo, your Necrozma, even Cobalion, Blastoise, those guys. But then like it needs to be hyper offense to make like something like a Volcarona and Barraskewda work. So like it doesn't really have an identity, I don't think.
Yeah, I feel like it'll probably end up being playing hyper offense most of the time.
It has to be.
I think it was Barraskewda was really weird.
Yeah. I just think
Like,
I think it
that's the most
fine.
thrown onto. I think that's the most thrown onto Mon there is.
Especially pick
See,
3.
yeah.
That's very early. I think if he got a strong momentum / attacker there, this team could be a hyper offensive team and be awesome.
Because Barraskewda can be good on its own, but it kind of needs Dynamax because like it can't just have rain for
Yeah, or like some rain support.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't need it. Stats are pretty good still.
Yeah,
It's
it
still
has like
kinda-
really good
it's-
attack and speed, and it has like
it's just kind of
it's a
weird.
neutral.
It just dies to anything priority.
Yeah,
that's
the
him.
problem.
Do all Galarian Pokemon have 508 base stats?
I don't know.
Actually, no, it doesn't have 508. I lied. Never mind. I'm stupid. You're good.
Okay,
I can't
okay.
count. But no, it's got it's frailer than frail gets, but obviously it has 123 attack and 136 speed, so it's still.
I think there's a lot to say about this team, but the one thing you can't say is like what you said, JJ. Is like there's no identity.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just
I
kinda
think
weird.
he's gonna have to pick an identity each week, obviously, but
Yeah. And
can
the-
those
like,
guys
when I
fill
was
that role?
when I was talking with Az about this, about the PRs, I had like one column and it was like potential.
Right.
So it was like this can either be really really bad or it can go really really good.
Exactly.
And
I
that
think
was
but
JJ.
the worst thing is I think it'll vary from week to week. I think there's some weeks where he can just 5-0 a team, but then there's some weeks where he's going to get 5-0'd because it's just the team isn't going to be
Yeah.
there. It's not going to just fare against certain teams well. Like I don't think this team fares well against like say Balance. Like a tanky team either. I don't think this team fares well against because it doesn't have the defense to
KHG's
hold up
draft
against those attacks.
could beat this.
That's okay.
Is it-
We should probably move on off
mean-
that. So we are going to slide down to number 14, Ian, in the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is rocking Galarian Darmanitan, Infernape, Deoxys Defense, which I did not know was allowed still, Dugtrio, Melodic, Miltank, Mega Beedrill, Noivern, Registeel, Whimsicott, and Spiritomb. Haz, would you like to start on this squad?
Yeah, okay, so this seems a bit of a weird team, I have to say. It's like he starts with Galarian Darmanitan, and I'm still not really sure how I feel about it in draft. As I've heard a lot of people say that it's completely broken, and I guess offensively that's right to an extent. There's very few switch-ins.
It's broken in Galactus, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean Galadex, I 100% agree. It's definitely really good in that. But obviously you can still offensively check it, and
Yeah.
and the team that he's built is just it's stupidly fat, but the offense on it is sort of questionable. So I feel like his only like immediate breakers on this team is the Galadom, like you said, and the Mega Beedrill. And one thing to note between both those ones, they're both Stealth Rocks weak. So if hazards are up, he's going to have a real hard time being able to get those in constantly. And then you look at his removal being Mega Beedrill, Noivern, and Whimsicott, which I think all three of them they aren't the best removers when your offense literally just consists of those two mons, Infernape, and I guess Dugtrio to an extent.
Yeah.
And then you look at his defense; it's stupidly fat. He basically has the Miltank, the Deoxys defense, the Melodic, Registeel, even Spiritomb. That's probably like one of the best defensive calls in the league. But a lot of them are pretty passive, and I feel like teams are going to be able to take advantage of that. I also think that Taunt could shut down a lot of those mons. And another thing with his offense is his best specially offensive mon is Infernape. So he could have issues breaking down teams that are able to have like good like physical bulk.
Oh no, Noivern and Whimsicott are pretty good. Especially
They're
against
okay. They're okay. Like
Like I've
Not
seen
even,
teams
well,
where I'm
not
just
even
like,
doesn't, not even like had to rely a lot on Z in order to break Mons down.
yeah, I guess.
Just a quick fact about this team. Outside of Galarian Darmanitan and Mega Beedrill, as Haz was saying about them being his breakers, do you guys know his highest physical and highest special attacker outside of those two?
I think his highest special was Infernape, like I said. I think I think they're both Infernape.
Yes, at 104.
I think they're both.
And then his
yeah.
next one is Melodic. His next best attacker is Melodic at 100 and Dugtrio at 100 because Noivern's in the 90s. Whimsicott's like 70 something. Yeah. So
one thing I really do like about this draft, it's round 6, but the Miltank really keeps this team together.
oh,
Yeah,
I,
it does.
I think
It
Miltank's
really
a great
does.
pick on any team. It can fill so many different roles. I think it's great.
Like just the fact that I can heal Bell or alone just kind of helps these teams so much.
Yeah, it's really vital for this team. I feel.
What is
Yeah.
what is his removal, just in general? I think you already said
Beedrill,
it.
Noivern, and Whimsicott.
Yeah,
So Whimsicott.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. Well, not even can defog.
Yeah, but does
Mega
it
B's
want to?
never defogging.
Yeah.
I've seen a Beedrill defog, but I don't know.
It's not something you like want to actively
Yeah,
rely
it's
on.
not something you want to run
Right.
like a lot.
And actually, both those mons are really weak to ice.
I think
main
a thing
defaults.
that like really made me how this made me feel about this draft is that I would think that if I saw this draft in a regular draft, I would think it's pretty good, but not in a free draft. I don't think it's good in a free draft.
That's fair.
Yeah, I feel like this draft could easily get exploited. Is the big problem.
Yeah.
Also, I've noticed he has like a speed gap between Melodic and Registeel from I think Melodic's 81 to 50, which is a pretty significant gap. So there's a lot of mons which aren't really forced to run like any sort of speed.
Right. I think this team would have been a lot better with Z. I think there's a lot
Yeah,
of ones that would have been awesome with Z moves, but
Yeah.
do we have anything else on this
Yeah.
squad, guys?
No, not really.
Not that I can say. Besides, I think without Registeel, bird spam could be a bit of an issue.
That is true. I think a lot of spam can be an issue. I mean, obviously he has
Yeah.
decent bulk, but
I mean that's this draft.
it's pretty awkward. I think it's a pretty awkward. I think it's going to be interesting to see what he does with the team. But we're going to move on.
It can work though.
No, it
That's
can for sure. I mean, I think a
Yeah.
lot of any team in a free draft
Actually-
can really work for the most part.
Outside of Whimsicott, what breaks down bulky waters? Like that, which I think is pretty significant because he has a Galodome.
Grass Knot, Infernape.
Yeah, that's not
Punch on
ideal.
Infernape as well.
Yeah, that's not the most ideal thing. I'll add.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. Very true. Bulky waters are always a pest, especially out of Z move, the Z move generation. So we're gonna move on
Yeah.
down to TC in the West Coast. Weaviles at 12. His team is Cinderace, Excadrill, Rotom Wash, Latias, Hippowdon, Sylveon, Bronzong, Mega Pinsir, Phalanx, my boy Phalanx, Zoroark, and Omastar. Jeremy, would you like to start on this squad?
I was in call with TC yesterday, and we
Uh-oh.
were talking about his team. And
Uh-oh.
basically, when I told him that when I looked over his team and like when I was trying to rank everything, when I looked at his team, it's like bad. Then you look at it again, and it's like, damn,
I actually like it.
it's still bad. No, I think it's got a lot of it's got some synergy. Like I like how Rotom Wash, Latias, and Hippowdon kind of work together, and Sylveon as well.
Yep.
Like Sylveon can just wish to Rotom Wash and Bronzong as well. And I think that there is some good potential in the offense with Pinsir, Excadrill, Cinderace, and Latias, depending on how you do it. There's also Rotom Wash that's good. I can nest Plat now, which is really nice. And yeah, I think there's a lot of potential in this draft. It really comes down to how he uses it. And I don't know how the Pinsir is going to work because of the removal, return, and Body Slam and Double Edge not being really easy to fit on a moveset with Quick Attack. So,
Has?
Yeah, this is basically a hard Gen 16 with a Cinderace tacked on, and
Yeah.
I guess failing to an extent.
I think Phalanx is bad.
The first thing I said
Yeah,
when I read it
Phalanx
off,
is a
I
bit
said,
weird.
I think I use this team in Gen 6.
Yeah, right.
That was exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
definitely.
one thing, the Cinderace is round 1, but it isn't. It isn't.
It's
Libero.
absolutely not around 1-1.
It's not Libero, so it's not. Round
Yeah, because it doesn't have its hidden ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have
I-
hidden abilities on like starters and the fossils and shit. So.
Yeah.
It's still like good on his team though, so I respect it.
I don't really have too much to say because I actually don't think there's like too many weaknesses. But in terms of like star quality mons, there just isn't like as much. But I still feel like he has like enough components in order to make this like succeed. I'll say also that I think T-Spikes could hurt him a bit, but there are a lot of mons which are able to remove T-Spikes. Like that, all of his removal is immune to T-Spikes, so I don't think it'll be a huge issue. Obviously, stuff like Hippowdon and Sylveon doesn't appreciate that. And yeah, also I think this could also be another team which doesn't appreciate Taunt on the like more bulkier mons. But I don't think it's like as big of an issue as compared to like Ian's team.
I do want to give some respect to the Omastar.
Oh yeah, big on Mister.
Like that mon is gonna spike up on a game and just let Pinter just go ham.
Yeah, I really do like the synergy between Pinsir and Excadrill. And actually even Cinderace with that, even though I do still think Cinderace went a bit early.
I think this team is best set to let Mega Pinsir do Mega Pinsir things, just with its removal being so good, because he has his first 4 Pokemon can remove. You know, it's which I think is huge. And if you told me that I had to go up against Excadrill, Rotom Wash, Latias, Hippowdon, Mega Pinsir every week, just them as a core, like I'd be like, well, damn, like I don't want any part of that.
If you told me that in Gen 6, I would tell you that is not a draft that you should be using.
Yeah, fair. but it's just I think it's okay. I think he'll do fine with it. I don't see any issue.
Yeah,
I think it's just kind of I wouldn't say boring, but it's just there. So like, let's see how he uses the other things around the core.
He's just kind of he's like 5 years late on a trend.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of a comfort draft rather than
I don't think it's a trend because I mean it was a trend for a reason, right? Because it's not bad.
It's good.
So let's see how Cinderace and things like he can use Zoroark to mess with the matchups, and I mean I guess Phalanx too as well. See how he uses those things around just that main nice core, and then goes from there. So I think that's kind of how we're gonna look at it. So yeah, we'll move on to the next team. Oh no, I see who's next. Has we gotta rip him. We gotta rip him. We gotta rip him.
I'm ready.
It is JP. Oh god, of course his first 2 picks. I'm like, yeah, that's JP. It's JP and SL Benfinians. He is rocking Mega Scizor, Clefable. Is that Thundurus? Yeah, Thundurus Incarnate. Gudra, Manaphy, Umbreon, Cresselia, Delmise, Aerodactyl, Gastrodon, and Blaziken. Oh my god, JP. I'll let you start on JP since we know him.
It's a JP draft, so of course it's stupidly fat. I think Mega Scizor has a lot of potential this season. Obviously without no Hidden Power Fire.
No Hidden Power Fire is incredible.
That means that like bulky Mega Scizor can destroy a lot of teams. Like stuff like I think the curse set's gonna be really, really incredible this season. Like a Spadef Mega Scizor just being able to curse up without worrying about any sort of like Hidden Power Fire mons.
For sure. And
but I do have like a few issues with this team. First of all, I think his only Stealth Rockers are Aerodactyl and Clefable, so that could mean that Clefable's forced from rocks, which I mean Clefable's a very good Stealth Rocker, but you do lose that move slot on it, which could be pretty significant.
Yeah.
I also noticed the fact that I feel like his team really struggles to break steel types. I feel like he basically picked up Blaziken and Gastron really, really late, because before that he had like really nothing that could like come to be a reliable steel breaker. And actually both his stealth rock setters are both weak to rocks. As well as that, Mega Scizor is his only fairy resist, which isn't great considering the fact that it's obviously 4 times weak to fire. Luckily, HP Fire doesn't exist anymore, but a lot of fairy mons got mystical fire, I think. So that could be a bit of an issue. I could also see him have an issue with ice types, or like offensive ice spam in general if Mega Sizzle's gone. So even though I feel like he's got a lot of fire resist on the team, so obviously he's thought about that Mega Sizzle in that sense. But I feel like in other ways, Mega Sizzle's pressured to do a lot in this team, and I also think that maybe like something else which could have broken down steals would be really nice for Mega Sizzle to come in and clean up.
It's gonna have to run super power a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think the fact that because you guys are saying there's a JP draft. I don't know how JP drafts, but like it's really fat.
Fat.
Yeah,
And then you just have a random Thunderous there. It's just like why, you know?
I'm guessing just to annoy with Thunderwave because that's what he does.
And I think Manatee's really good on here, and Scizor as well. But like that being your only offense with Aerodactyl, Nailmine, and Blaziken, essentially is like kind of I don't know. It's a really fat team. It's a good fat team, but you got some things to work on.
Yeah, I think the offense is okay, but it's only okay in a free draft sense.
I think it's gonna be a lot of setup. I mean, his only I think breaker is what Delmise.
Thunderous.
Delmise, Thunderous,
yeah, with nasty plot. I mean, and he's gonna maybe Life Orb Clefable every now and then. But I know I was talking to Parksy a lot about this, but I think the evolutions like Umbreon and Vaporeon got extremely good this generation because just no Z moves exist, so you're not gonna get those random fighting EMZs for Umbreon, things like that. I really like the Umbreon pick. I think that kind of really helps. It takes a lot of pressure off Clefable and can heal up Goodra, can heal Bell, just random things. Heal up Manaphy too if he's just bringing Tailglow Manaphy. So I really do like the Umbreon, and obviously it helps with Cresselia too. You know, heal Belling Toxic, things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's JP draft. I don't really know what else to say besides that. I think Scissor's gonna be great though. I think he's gonna do a lot of work with it.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I think we're good on the squad. Yeah. So we're moving on to Spoink and the Des Moines Deli Birds. He picked up Landorus, Therian, Megalodios, Inteleon. Oh god. Inteleon, Corviknight, Azumarill, Thunderous Therian, Roserade, Snorlax, Emboar, or Beetle, and Girder. So a few question marks there, I think, with the new toys. But Haz, what do you got for the Des Moines Delibirds and Spoink here?
I don't really know how I feel about this here. There's definitely some good points, but there's also some really weird points. For a start, I think Lando's his only Stealth Rocker on this team, so I think, like, obviously it's a very good Stealth Rocker, but being forced to run rocks when maybe you want to run like something like Double Dance, for example, could be a bit of an issue. I think actually Lando this gen is going to be a bit interesting because on one hand it's lost sleep, on the other hand it's lost the loss of HP ice is going to really help it a lot. So it'll be interesting to see how Spoink uses it in that sense. I think his offense is pretty good. A lot of them are sort of like weak to ice, I've noticed. Although he does have the Inteleon, though that thing's as well, it's pretty frail. He has a lot of mons which are like good last gen. But this gen, I think they're a bit worse. So stuff like Roserade, who's lost
Snorlax.
hidden powers.
Yeah, hidden power stuff.
Yeah, Snorlax is another one, which is pretty significant.
Thunderous is really bad now.
Yeah, Thunderous as well. But this sort of feels like another Spoink team in the fact that it's like really like set up, spammy, and I feel like that actually really hurt him last season because I feel like a lot of people just end up like predicting that okay, he's just gonna bring like a bunch of sell up. Let me bring Taunt. Like I remember, I think Luke bought 3 Taunt mons versus Spoink. Just because his playstyle just become very, very obvious. And I do worry that this team could have like a similar problem.
Yeah, for example, like if he would face a Suicune, he would probably like run sub bulk up Corviknight, and then the Coon would run Roar. It's just like yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's like, what's the point?
So that is the question I do have for you guys. What are your views on, especially I think seeing his team, I actually kind of like it. Besides the pick 3 and 4. And Inteleon and Corviknight, obviously I know they're new toys, but what are your thoughts on Corviknight?
I don't think Corviknight's bad at all.
You don't think it's bad?
I think Corviknight's decent. I think round 4's fine for
I
Corviknight.
think Corviknight's supported well as well. So I don't
Yeah,
really see.
I think Corviknight's
Corviknight's
okay.
Inteleon's weird. It's a good draft. It just kind of.
Yeah, it's more of a mid.
It's more of a question mark.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
it's definitely not round 3.
Yeah.
Like in Poison Point, it went round 5, and even then that was a bit questionable. But round 3 is just nope, absolutely not.
Alrighty. I think that's
One thing though,
Oh, go ahead.
Orbeetle gets webs, so that's nice for him.
That's always nice support. I mean, in all of my drafts, I always take a web setter, like last few picks. Just you never know when you're gonna need webs in a random game. Usually it's Leavanny, Has-Nos. I'll never let him forget either. But usually it's Leavanny.
I'm reminded this like every PRs.
Yes, he is, because he got swept by Leavanny and a Volcanion. And a Mega Diancie, that helped too. But yeah, I love the random and I like Orbeetle actually. I don't think it's bad. Especially with webs.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad either.
I think a web tech is always, because you just never know when there's a game where he has maybe say, I think there was a team up there that had Mandibuzz was his only remover. You know, you can tech something for Mandibuzz, or where Mandibuzz is just a bad I think this team Mandibuzz isn't that good of a matchup.
Yeah, it isn't.
So like just webs, and he's gonna have a tough time getting them off the field, and then that sets up things like Emboar to just run house, and like a choice banded Landorus just to spam Earthquake. So I think that's a very good tech. I think Orbeetle's actually pretty good. Not bad stats, but yeah. Anyway, I think that's good for that squad. So we're gonna move on down to this is gonna be fun. We have Ches in the Memphis Zzzlies. I know. Zzzlies. We have Melmetal, Tornadus, Therian, Kyurem, Crocodile, Celebi, Primarina, Salazzle, Swampert, Morpeko, Crustle, and Megalop. I think it is your time to start. Was it? I think no, it wasn't. It was Jeremy.
I'm gonna start anyway because I know Ches is good. Ches, your team is hot trash, absolutely dreadful, rubbish.
He went to the British word for it.
It's mono on ones besides the Morpeko. Really, really dreadful. But okay, but actually
there is a Swampert. I don't see what you're saying.
There's a Salazzle and a Tornadus Therian. I was like, all right, dude, those are like my two favorite mons in draft. I was like, you better keep correct.
There's a lot to like about this draft, and I'll let you guys do the positives, but I do have a few critiques. And the first critique is one which I've told Ches himself, is that his removal is literally Tornadus Therian and Morpeko. Now, I think Tornadus Therian is a very good remover, especially now that it can have heavy duty boots, so I think that makes it more reliable. But sometimes you might want to run like AV. AVs are still a very good set on Torn, especially now that Z-moves are gone. So if he's like up against like, I don't know, a really good special attacker that he wants to attack the Assault Vest Tornadus, then he's sort of in trouble. If he gets like hazard stacked as such, because then his only removal is Morpeko. Which is actually a better mon than what you'd initially think, but it's still relying on that as removal isn't very great. I think also there's some weird speed gaps. I think there's a speed gap between Crook and Primarina, which I noticed, which could be a bit of an issue. I'm really not sure why he drafted Crustle. I think like spikes are nice, and I guess an offensive bug for Megalop could be pretty decent.
There's a better offensive bug that gets spikes.
But I feel like he probably could have like. I think I know what you're talking about. Yes, Excelgor probably would have been better.
Well, Excelgor too, but a Galizapod is fantastic.
Oh, guys! Well, that would give him triple water at that point.
Yeah, but water's a great type.
That's fair. But I feel like probably that might be worth sacrificing for another remover. That could help him a lot. I also feel like.
Wait, Has. Are we gonna play the game?
What? Oh, do we have time to play the game?
Does Jeremy know about the game?
No.
No. We don't want to help Chaz. We don't want to help. We're not playing the game. We're not playing the game.
Every time we do PRs, we play fix that team, and then we fix the team for them.
No, we're not helping. Fuck Chaz. Fuck Chaz.
Whoa.
No help from me. I mean,
Don't use such pejorative language, my guy.
No, I'm gonna get demonetized, boys.
No.
Does he have an electric?
Has been going to town with his team.
It does. It's more Pico.
Okay, does he have?
There
again,
are
let me
there
ask
are
again.
good things about this team. There are good things about this team.
Rotom
As
Frost
we
is
go to
right
town
there.
on
It
this
has.
team, I'll just be a little bit positive.
Regular Rotoms there too.
Yeah, you guys can say the positives then. Go on.
So, Melmetal is a really good mon in this draft. Like, if you look at the rest of the draft, you have Melmetal. Melmetal is really, really bulky, but at the same time, it can actually punch a lot of holes in drafts. It's one of his only physical attackers with Crook and Lopunny, and Crustle if you want to count that. Tornadus is really nice with Swampert and Salazzle, as Salazzle really covers for Swampert, and Tornadus is the same thing. Tornadus can pivot around, Swampert can pivot around, Swampert puts up rocks, which helps Torn be a little bit of an annoyance, because it can just U-turn over the whole place. And Tornadus really works well with Primarina, as Primarina just kind of comes in, clicks a move, and just kills a Pokemon. We like Kieran, got buffed with Dragon Dance, Freeze Dry, and Icicle Spear. Reason why we back Kieran Whack. And I don't know, I really like the team's synergy. It's just kind of, the weaknesses are a bit big. So, it's a fine team, but at the same time, Lock got nerfed as well, which is kind of annoying. If it didn't get nerfed, it would have been way better of a team.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's weak to hands with Salazzle, Kieran, Torn, and his movers are Torn and Morpeko is a bit of a sketchy thing. But other than that, I think it's a really good draft. Quick losing Pursuit is a bit annoying for this team because Lopunny doesn't really get enough support anymore, especially with Return and Frustration being gone. But yeah, I like the team still. I had a really high at first, and then Has kind of just showed me a little bit of weakness. Like, yeah, I can see why this is not as high on your. So.
Yeah, there's still a lot of good mons. I think Melmetal's really, really crazy. I actually saw a game yesterday where it took it chewed a +2 Garchomp EQ and then just OK'd it back. So
Wait.
Yeah, that's
+2?
yeah, it actually also, I did a calc. It actually lives +2 Lando as well.
That's
Yeah, it's really
disgusting.
it's kind of like 134, I think, HP and like something along the same line.
143 defense.
Yeah,
That's
it's
disgusting.
really
Yeah,
broken.
this thing basically eats like any physical move imaginable.
Yeah.
Which is, I definitely, in my opinion, it's probably the best new mon this gen.
That's actually
Yeah.
interesting because there's so many decent Pokemon I think that got added through Sword and Shield, so that's some high praise. But are we gonna? I think we need to talk about his last pick, Mega Lopunny. Obviously, with the nerfs with Return, how do you guys think it's gonna fare in general?
It can still do what it does before, but the thing is, it's a lot less brainless. Like the thing that made Megalop so good is it just had like really like easy spammable stabs, and now the fact that it's lost Return, obviously it still has high jump kick, but you have to factorize in missing, and the fact that I think goes down from that to Facade. I don't think it gets Body Slam. It's basically Facade's strength. It's next best stab moves. So you have to like get more chip on things in order to get it down to that range.
Yeah.
So it's just a bit harder for it to do its job, but it's still a decent mega.
Yeah, what made Lob so good was that you could just. It doesn't matter how bad you are, you can use Mega Lob.
Yeah.
But now it's way less that. The most skill you needed to use Mega Lob was knowing when to use Return or Fake Out when it
Right.
came in, and then that's it. Like,
Fair enough.
I don't know. But yeah, I think the Lob's still good. It's just not as good as it was in
Alrighty.
like Gen 7 and 6.
I think we'll move on. So we'll go down to the next team. And Luke and the Denver Golden Nuggets. He is rocking Mew, Toxapex, Ferrothorn, Mega Aerodactyl, Rotom Heat, Haxorus, Rabombi, Poltergeist, Mienshao, Diggersby, and Hoopa Unbound. Sorry, I read Toxapex, Ferrothorn, and wanted to puke. So yeah, I think it's
X-Puke.
yeah, I think it has on this guy.
Is it?
Well, you took over
I've
Jeremy's
done
last
like
one.
the
No,
last
it's
few.
Jeremy.
Well,
Well, you took it over. I tried passing Jeremy, then you said, no, I'm starting.
So-
I wanted to shit on Chad.
Yeah, I'll take it. So when I looked at his team, I was like, damn, Luca's got the best team. like 5 rounds in, you know, damn, Luke's got the best team.
He did 5 rounds in.
And then he just kind of went nowhere with it. I mean, still got nice synergy. Like Rabambi is nice. Axers can be really devastating, especially with like Pex and Ferroform being really hazard sacking, and the Wally and Mew being buff is really good for him, of course. And I think Axer is good that way to set up for shit like Poltergeist. Koopa and Bound is really good for sweepers and Diggersby as well. The thing is that he doesn't really have a big sweeper except for Poltergeist. Aerodactyl can be one, of course, because it's got amazing speed. Rabambi can be one, but they're not the best, if that makes sense. Other than that, it's a really good team. I don't really have anything to complain about it.
I think my biggest complaint that I can see with this team just right off the jump is obviously I think Diggersby and Hoopla and Bound are great breakers, but I think this team's gonna rely on Mew every single week to bring the correct offensive set, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I think his defensive backbone is great, but I think if Mew doesn't bring the right set, this team's going to struggle to break certain teams. And I think he's going to have a tough time. But yeah, I think this team's just going to rely a lot.
Which is kind of weird, because like a lot of his picks are really offensive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. He has a lot of like good breakers, but at the same time, he does struggle versus certain teams.
Yeah, I think it's just still a good team. I think there could have just been better mons in some spots.
Yeah. Yeah, I also think webs is actually, there are a lot of mons which actually do appreciate webs on this team compared to like some other teams that drafted webs. I think stuff like Hacktress and the Hooper Unbound, Diggersby all appreciate webs. To some extent. He does have like nice hazard stack as well with the T spikes and the spikes between the Toxapex Ferroform core. I think Hooper and Bound, like maybe Poltergeist are like his only special attackers, which isn't great. And I also noticed that there is a speed gap between Poltergeist down to Toxapex. I think Poltergeist is 70, and then Pex is like 35. So there are a few mons which could like exploit that speed tier. However, I think his team's okay. I'll say it's a good team. It's a good team. But I do think if he made like maybe like 1 or 2 better picks in like the mid to late, this could have been an amazing team.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna have trouble building, like as far as like his defensive core, and like I'm gonna bring this and this and this, obviously, and then but I think he's gonna have trouble with his offense, making sure he breaks the right things. But
yeah,
I don't think he's gonna have too much trouble. I think it's fine. I wouldn't doubt if this team is in the top 3, just with how good the start was.
I think his team is really solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think Mienshao is actually pretty good on this team, because
I love Mienshao.
One of his best steel breakers, with Diggersby to that extent, and he also breaks down dark types for stuff like Poltergeist and Mew, and he also provides him really good momentum. So I actually do think that's a really good fit on this team.
I agree. I think we can move on. Oh, I see who's next. Here we go. Old Parksy in the Armaldos. I can say it right. It's been what?
Yes.
5 years, and I can finally say Arma.
Yeah, congratulations.
He has Gliscor, Tapu Koko, Blacephalon, Latios, Conkeldurr, Vaporeon, Grimmsnarl, Mega Aggron, Serena, Venomoth, and Lycanroc Dusk. I know this is our good friend, and we helped him draft. I know me and you both did, I think. So,
yeah, I did give him some.
So that's why it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
okay.
I'll get into that.
So before Haz gets to the team, I would like to announce, he was going through the Pokemon that he wanted for his first 2 picks. I suggested stuff, and he said, "Oops, I already took Gliscor and Koko." So I would like to preface this draft by saying that. But that is all. Go ahead, Haz.
Okay. Well, I basically what he was gonna do, he was gonna pick Lando T and Zera, And I was like, wow, those are two really good picks. You do that, Pubsy. And I go away and I come back and then I see bloody round 1 Gliscor and shit Tapu Koko take. I'm like, fucking hell, Pubsy. But you know what? It's workable. It's workable.
It is workable. I
I
actually.
mean, the thing is that Zero and Lando both got taken like 2 picks before him.
Yeah, they did. They
So
did.
I think he kind of. I'm not saying he tilted off that, but I think he tilted a little bit off those 2 picks, and he kind of just went with the next.
I mean,
Like
Gliscor's-
neither of them would have made it back to him. I
I think Gliscor is still really good.
Oh, I agree.
Though.
Yeah, no hidden power ice. I think Gliscor is great. But
yeah, I think Gliscor is actually a very, very good mon now without hidden power ice. Like it just makes it even even harder to break down. And then he has ended up getting like a really good like defensive core on that, which I do like. I do think his team goes in like a momentum offensive route, and then halfway through it sort of becomes a wish bulkier, fatter team. And I both like it and dislike it, because I do like it because it helps Gliscor shine a lot more in like a defensive sense. But I also don't like it because I feel like he maybe could have taken it in like a more like offensive, speedier route. And the speed's still okay, but I don't know.
I think it's versatile enough to where he can go either route. Obviously, with a great defensive core in Vaporeon Mega Aggron, just with the healing and you're not gonna break through that too often.
Yeah.
Where I think he kind of tailed off for me. Well, I mean, I don't mind Serene on this team. I think a spinner and a decent hitting grass type is good. I didn't really like the last 2 picks in Venomoth and Lycanroc. I think he could have went different directions.
Yeah, I kept telling him not to pick Lycanroc, and then
he likes
I think
Lycanroc a lot.
I think Lycanroc's just like there are better mons that do its job.
Yeah, I don't really see what it does for this team.
And
I don't think it does anything.
but not like on the board. I mean, like on his draft.
Yeah.
I told him to pick a Selgor. I mean, I know I've been saying that, but there's Pokemon like, I know Lycanroc does a job, but there's Pokemon like Alakazam. Like, I know he has a Psychic type. I'm just saying, like, just really strong Pokemon, like that can just come in to 2 matches, in a year and do work. And I don't know. I don't agree with the Lycanroc pick, but yeah, I think like Has said, I love the bulk. I love the offensive core. I like Blazion, Latios, Tapu Koko. I love Conk too as well. I think he gives him the priority he needs. I think it's a good.
I think a lot. Like we're getting into the range now where it's more so nitpicking about what's bad.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Just
I
his
will
team's
also
not
say
bad.
I do like Lycanroc as a mon, just not on this team.
No, I don't like him on this team.
Yeah, I think Grimmsnarl is a good Pokemon for Gen 8.
Yeah,
It's pretty-
I think it's one of the better ones that were added,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it can fit this team pretty well.
Luciflon and Lottie are really good, especially for like Lottie round 4 is really good. He's really nice. So,
I like his
Yeah.
momentum into those two too as well, because I think those two shine when they can get in on something
Yeah.
advantageous, and Lottie can just drop
Yeah,
specs
don't
Dracos.
forget Dry Pass Vaporeon as well, which can like help.
Exactly.
Oh, for sure. I trust me. I know. I said how much I like Umbreon. I think Vaporeon does just that same job, just as good. So I love Vaporeon this gen.
And like no pursuit really helps both Latios and Luciflon a whole
for
lot
sure.
more. now.
Yeah. They can get out whenever they want.
Also, I think that Coco is like, because we were talking about a lot of mods that like got nerfed, like Mega Lopunny, but Coco got nerfed, but it's still Coco. It's still gonna be
Yeah.
annoying. It's still gonna be throwing out thunderbolts. It lost inner powers and lost some damage and like electric moves, but it's still gonna be a Coco. Like I think it's round 2 now, probably. So I think he got a nice Pokemon there,
I think
even though it looks worse.
I think Coco might be a little more physical. Like I think you're gonna see some more physical
Yeah.
Cocos, just because I think its moveset tailors towards
Yeah, or more
that.
utility, maybe
Yeah.
even because like with
Oh, for sure,
Nature
screens,
Madness,
yeah.
U-turn, Roost,
Yep.
Defog,
I like
Screen.
screens with this team too. I like screens with Lottie,
Yeah.
even setting up with Aggron, things like that. But that's kind of that's why I don't understand the last 2 picks. I mean, I like Venomoth. Obviously, it can quiver dance. It can put things to sleep. But I mean, like I was talking about, just the sheer power of some Pokemon left. Like there's Stack Attacka still left. There is. Oh, I was going through. Hold on, I found something else. I totally forgot what it was already. That Stonejourner from Gen 8. I like that Pokemon a lot. I think that Pokemon gets a lot of good tech. I think it gets Heat Crash as well. I just think there's a lot of different Pokemon that Lycanroc Dust can be substituted for, and you just see it come a few more weeks. I mean, I don't know. I guess I just don't like Lycanroc a lot.
I don't hate the Venomoth pick as such, because one, it gives him T-Spikes, and two, it gives him
yes.
It gives him another way of like beating like grass types, which Coco now struggles with because there's lots of HP Ice. So I think in that sense, it's I feel like for a late round pick, it's decent enough.
Yeah,
but
at
I
least
just
Coco
don't
still
like
has
them.
Brave Bird. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind Venomoth as much as I do not like the Lycanroc.
Yeah, Lycanroc is just kind of off. Yeah.
Well, I just think there's so many good, like even like a Lowland Muck didn't even get taken. Like there's
I mean,
so many.
Alamar got enough to hell, to be
Yeah.
fair.
What was its big nerf? Sorry.
Pursuit.
No Pursuit, and the 50% berries are now 33.
Yeah.
That is true. Okay. But I mean, I'm just saying, just like how much, like I'm just looking through like what didn't get taken, and there's so much power. Like I see a Magnezone there. I know there's no hidden power that also hurts it too. I see Porygon 2 and Porygon Z. I just see Metagross is still there. Like I just see all these powerful Pokemon. I know he has things that fill those roles on his team a little bit, but man, I think Lycanroc is just kind of a sore thumb on this team. But anyway, I think we can move on to the next team in Stibe and Helsinki High Jump Kicks. He is rocking Zygarde, Heatran, Tapu Bulu, that Funtran Bulu Core, Nihilego, Kartana, Crobat, Frostlass, Dragonite, Volcanion, Mega Slowbro, and Scrafty. So, Jeremy, go ahead.
My guy saw no hidden powers and he was like, bet.
Yeah,
I'm getting these 4 times a week.
No HP Poison, no HP Ground, no HP Ice, no HP Fire. I like it.
Fucking bet, bro.
Yeah, he said, watch this.
So what I had with Stibe is I also put him in the potential column, but the difference between him and JJ is that his team actually has a lot of threatening mons that work together.
Oh, tons of threats. This team is threats.
Yeah, and I really like how he has Crobat here, even though he has Nihilego already, because it can really help with what this team will be weak to.
They both do completely different things.
Yeah, for sure. But like this team, if you look the first 5, you would think, I don't know, but this driver's gonna die to a fighting type with Ice Punch, you know? But then Crobat comes in and it's like it probably walls even with the Ice Punch.
And then it goes to Mega Slowbro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's got your fighting. You got your fighting covered.
Yeah. So I think that this team is really good, but it also depends on how you use it, especially because there are a lot of Pokemon that are threats, and I think he has to, like what you said with the Mew thing from Luke, I think he has to pick his cards right a lot. But other than that, I think it's a really good team, and I think there are a lot of weaknesses that you can exploit, especially with his 4 times weaknesses stuff. You know, you can't really pick your coverage versus him. It's kind of hard. And I think also one thing, Dragonite with Boots is really nice because you can just have multi-skill for sure.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people slept on Dragonite because it's lost Z, but Dragonite was so good before Z, and the fact that heavy duty boots now exists means you don't have to worry about Stealth Frogs, so it's always going to have that multi-scale intact, which allows it to sell up easier.
I think a lot of these Pokemon are like more slept on now.
Yeah,
like Zygarde is more slept on. Heatran might be more slept on.
Yeah, honestly, if
Dragonite, you know,
if this team had Z moves, I think I'd probably put it number 1 because so many of these mons would like really appreciate the breaking that Z provides. It is a very Gen 70 team. That's like the first thing I noticed with it. I also noticed he has a lot of mons who do sort of like similar stuff, sort of. So like the Dragonite and Zygarde to like some extent, and I guess Heatran and Volcanion, if I can sort of forgive that, because I think they're like slightly different enough. But I feel like he maybe just picked Dragonite because it's like a really good mon, and I guess in free draft I sort of can't really blame him for that as much. But I am interested to see like how often you'll see both Dragonite and Zygarde come, for example.
I
I guess it's like a decent like Dragon spam potentially. Is maybe what he's thinking with that. I also noticed he is a bit weak to rocks. There are a lot of mons which like don't like rocks as such, but obviously heavy duty boots exist. He's got some decent removers, so I think he'll probably be okay in that sense. And actually, one last thing which I think is pretty significant is both his stealth rockers are 4 times ground weak, which I think could be a bit of an issue. Especially considering like a lot of like leads rockers are ground types themselves.
like Crook, Lando.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what I wanted to say, almost interrupted you, As. Sorry about
No
that.
worries.
Is that there are 2 very random mods on this draft, and those are Scrafty and Frostless. But I really like them actually on this draft.
Yeah, I think
like,
I
really
think
like
I think it's a good fit on the team, both of them actually.
Yeah, like they're kind of random because you see like power, and like good defense in Crobat and Slowbro and Heatran, and then you have like random Frostless and a random Scrafty. They're really good on this draft. I think they help them a lot.
Yeah, I had Scrafty and DGBA last season. I was really surprised at actually how good that thing is. Like
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's stupidly fat, and it just has loads of great sell-up options as well. And
Yeah,
its
like-
abilities are all of its abilities are really good.
You know, Frostless can like have icy wind, setting up spikes. Can
Yeah,
have
exactly.
really good
Sell
ability.
spikes, gets the ice priority, which is nice.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I
think
think
it's a
that
good
is it on Stive, so we can move on to the Durham Druddigans and 6-foot hacks. And welcome to the league, Mr. 6-foot hacks. Rockin' Dragapult, Victini, Mega Mawile, Halucha, Superior, Scolipede, Seismitoad, Alolan Persian, Pichurchin, Copperjaw, and Uxie. I think it has his turn, I'm pretty sure. Has?
Sure. This seems absolutely perfect. Please don't hate me, 6-foot hat fans. Please don't send your hate comments that he's only 5th.
Actually, bring it on.
But for I think the first 3 picks are stupidly good together.
Yeah. I even added Leo when he was like busy. I was like, "You got Mega Maw round free? What the fuck?" That's
I
really
don't
good.
know.
was like,
I don't
yeah.
know what was happening there.
Yeah,
How that thing fell to round 3.
yeah.
But I do think there are some interesting things about this team. First of all, I think its removals its removals are pretty bad. It's Hawlucha and Superior. Hawlucha you're probably not going to see on defog like that often, and Superior is a decent defogger because it's able to fill it in a lot because its move pool isn't great, but the fact it's lost hidden powers means it's sort of a questionable mod now.
Yeah,
Now,
it being round 5, taking round 5 is a bit weird as well.
Yeah, it does actually have some roles on this team. I think for one thing, it's still a really good bulky water breaker,
Mhm.
and I also think he has a lot of hazard stack on this team. He's got double spikes and a couple of stealth rockers as well. And the thing with Superior is you can switch it in on defog, and it's able to get that contrary evasion boost, which could be pretty annoying for teams. Another thing is, I think his speed tiers are really questionable as such. Like, they're really imbalanced. Like, there are a lot of mons in the 110 to, like, 120 category. Like, Scolipede, Superior, Hawlucha.
I almost never see a team of Mega Maw being so fast and then thinking, like, this team is really weak to Trick Room.
Yeah,
You know?
it's really weird.
Though, I guess he has, like, Maw and Caparaja, which can, like, really help.
Yeah, those two can be really nice. He does have the Pincharchin with Hawlucha, so it still gets that Electric Seed boost.
If
Which
you
I
want
think
it,
is
of
nice.
course, because you can run close combat now.
Yeah, exactly. You can run close combat to automatically get the boost.
I think it's a really
White Herb.
solid team. Because, like, I don't see a lot of weaknesses. It's just, like, some mons are just a bit weird. Like, Scolipede is not as good anymore without Z, I think. I don't think it was good before. But it still does, like, have...
It has a role.
Niche it has a role. Like, with Pincurchin, it can T-Spike and Spike up with it, and it can still be a sweeper if it wants to. And stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
The question I do have for you has, as far as the speed tiers go, like, are they just extremely awkward? I mean, I know you guys touched on it a little bit, but like,
Yeah.
his only
I
middle
think
guy
they
is
are.
Seismitoad, 74, I think.
Yeah,
and then the
74. Morwell's 50. I don't know what Pinchurchin is.
It's like 10.
I think
I just looked it up.
Copperjaw's.
Copperjaw's like 10.
I think just 30 something,
30,
isn't it?
Yeah, 30 and then
Churchin
Play
is
5,
15, Caparaja's 30.
yeah.
Okay.
So I guess it's
I mean, I guess he has like, and Uxi's a 95, although like it's not really ever gonna run
I just
that
think
much
a lot
speed.
of those walls in the the 50, 60, 70 range don't
Yeah.
really have to touch anything.
Yeah, I feel like
comfortably.
you're only gonna really need to like creep Mega Morwell, and that's it in
Yeah.
terms of like those lower mons. But actually, he can sort of use that to his advantage in a sense. Like he knows, like if that's like in the back, if you know in the back of your opponent's mind like how much speed they're gonna creep, you can sort of like tailor your mon to that in like some aspects. But with this team, not sure like how much he's gonna do that in that sense. But it's always something worth noting.
For sure. I think we can.
One thing-
Oh, go ahead. You're good.
One thing that I really didn't like is that this team doesn't support Mega Maw super well. Like Persian and Yuxi are really great, and Dragapult and Victini can do their shenanigans with like the U-turn and stuff like that. But I'm a big Mega Maw fan, so I don't, when I saw the draft at first, I was like, I don't like this team. It's good, but I don't like it because it isn't how I would support a Mega Maw. But I still think it's a good team, and I think Leo.
think Glare-
I've seen Leo play with like I've seen some of his videos, and I think he
Only
would use
some.
it. I really think he would use this team well.
I think he's gonna do just fine with it. But I think the glare
Yeah.
plus U-turn plus parting shot support is just fine. Like I think that's
Yeah.
actually really good with Mawile. I've used.
Yeah, I
I mean,
think it's
I've used that kind of core before with Mawile. I mean, it's a Mawile.
It's just not how I
like
would
a truck.
support it.
But yeah, right. I completely understand. I just think it's.
But I think
it'll work.
it's like if Leo would use this, he would be really good. But if Leo would use like a team I would use, he would be really bad with it.
Yeah, right.
Or not bad, but like he
right.
wouldn't be as good as
For
me
sure.
with it.
For sure. We'll move on though to the next squad, and we have Mr. Hiker Toad and the Boston Bulldoors rocking Mega Gallade, Garchomp, Gengar, Zapdos, Tyranitar, Slowbro, Shaman, Darmanitan, Klefki, Piloswine, and Mimikyu. This looks like another Gen 6, Gen 70 like stable team. So Haz, what do you got for me on this squad? Wait, who did I start with last time?
I would start with this. I want to start with
Okay,
this.
go ahead.
Yeah.
I
So-
can't remember where I started left off.
Mega Gallade, Garchomp, Gengar, broken. Super good offensive wise, especially with Gengar not having Nasty Block. You have T-Tar, sadly doesn't get pursued anymore, otherwise Gengar would just obliterate a lot of like teams, like KG had like Lissy. If T-Tar got pursued, he would be dumpstered by Gengar. So I like his team, and it's really good overall. It's got like the best mons overall on like one team, I think. Zapdos is really good still. It lost HBIs, I guess, but like, who really used HBIs other than like?
I think HBS was used a fair bit on Zapdos.
Yeah, only
In
if he.
draft,
But
it's
I think only if he like used offensive, or maybe if he really didn't have anything for Gliscor or whatever, right? No.
Yeah, it's not as bad as like some other mons basically.
He has a decent
I
amount
like-
though for like a Gliscor
Yeah.
or a Landorus.
I love Klefki on his team as well because like you just have a nice defogger. You have screens for Garchomp, Gengar, Gallade, Mimikyu, Darm, T-Tar, and it's got some nice bulk behind it like Shaman, Slowbro.
Oh, it's
all
tanky.
that.
This team is tanky as it gets.
Yeah. One thing though, which I think Haz would come up with, is that it's got a lot of weaknesses in terms of types. I think that's what you said, right? So
Yeah,
I think that's where it kind of went wrong, even though the team on paper just looks so good, and it can for sure just be number one easily. Like, if it's used well and known hiking will. But, it's kind of, we're doing draft rankings and not player rankings, so that's why I put him kind of at 4.
Go ahead, Haz.
look at the mons just by themselves, and then this is probably I'd probably say this is like maybe like top 2, maybe possibly the best draft. But I do think there are some weaknesses to this. First of all, I think he's like, because he has the double psychic, double ghost, he's really, really weak to ghost types, and his only resist is the T-Tar, which is obviously weak to fighting types.
Yeah.
So it's similar with JJ's team that he's just like ghost types with like focus blast can like really put a dent on this team. I also think
luckily he has Gengar himself.
Yeah, exactly. That's really nice for him. I also think that maybe like another faster one could be nice. I don't think it's like a huge issue because he has a lot of bulk with it, so he can always like take a hit and such. And he has a lot of mons like really nice recovery. So I don't think that's a huge issue, but like maybe like one more fast mon could have been nice. So that like Gengar and Garchomolets pressure to run scarfs and such. I'm not a huge fan of his removal. I think it's okay. It's Klefki and Zapdos, but a lot of times with Klefki, you sort of want it to like set up spikes and such and screens rather than defog. So I feel like Zapdos could be pressured a lot to run defog, which I mean, it's still a good defogger, but it's just something to keep in mind. That if you take down Zapdos, like potentially you are able to like stack up against Hiker and such. But yeah, I think Megalade is super well supported on this team. I think can honestly just shine with the mons that he has. And yeah, I still think it's good team. Yeah, exactly. But the mons that he has, just should make it shine.
Yep, and that's one of the biggest threats in draft period. So, but we're gonna move on to the next team, number 3, the Green Bay Pranksters. Max rocking Landorus, Jirachi, Tapu Fini, Weavile, Keldeo, Buzzwole, Mega Charizard X, Rotom, Galarian Corsola, Fortress, and Licky. Go right on ahead, Jeremy. I do too.
I love this team. So, I know Max got sniped a lot, and he was complaining about his team. He's like, my team is so bad, bro. But he did so well to like get it on the right path again. By getting just the right pieces at the right time, I think. Because, like, if you look at this team without Buzzwole, you're just like, EQ goes through this team. And then you put Buzzwole there, covered. Then you have, for example, this team is kind of weak to fighting. Corsola, boom, covered. Even though Jirachi and Fini do really abuse them, but still, they can be exploited by Knockoff and T-Punch, for example, on some mons like Gallade. Corsola, of course, as well. But it just depends, on what Pokemon it is. I think it's a really good draft overall. I don't really see a lot of weaknesses, and it's really good. Like, I like how Jirachi also supports Fini with Wish, for example. Licky too. Fortress isn't really pressured to be in the game for a lot. Fortress is going to be in the game longer than what it's supposed to be because of Licky and Jirachi wishing up to it, for example. And Rotom as well. So I think he made a draft that really works well with Landawai, because like Landawai just kind of can actually do what it wants to do with the support around it. It doesn't get like ice sharded. It doesn't get and it doesn't get like walled easily. For example, Cresselia is really gonna wall like a Landorus Eye. Then you have Weavile there, which can just blow through it. So I think he really built well around Landorus Eye, and he got the right pieces at the right time, even though he got sniped a lot.
Yeah, I'd say that this team is like absolute fire in the sense that the mons here are incredible, and also the fact that half his team is weak to fire. Like I think he has like 5 mons weak to fire. So that's
Weavile. Then you have like Zardex, Keldeo, and Fini, which can just
But yeah, they are decent. Yeah, I was gonna say they are like really good like resists. And like obviously Keldeo and Fini should be able to like offensively check a lot of fire types. And then Fini and like Zardex, even Keldeo to extent, are also able to take like fire hits like fairly well. But I think having like nearly half your team weak to fire is a bit of a could be a bit of an issue. As in like you can easily take like fire coverage on something and then like I just hit like all these mons, if you know what I mean. I also think there are a lot of passive mons here, stuff like Galarian Corsola, which I think he's dropped now, and Fortress, even Licky to an extent.
I'll check.
I can't remember who he. I think did he pick up the Galarian Kofag?
Yeah, he did. He picked up Runerigus.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Oh my.
It's got
Yeah.
a different name, Has. Come on.
That's silly.
Not
Whoops.
Pokemon Master.
I think that even helps him more. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. I also I was gonna say I've completely forgotten. I think nothing is. I don't think his flying resist. I think it's only Jirachi, so that could be an issue if he comes against Talonflame or I don't know if anyone drafted Moltres, but
I don't
just
know.
in
It
general.
depends because like Jirachi's really good, bro.
Yeah, Jirachi's crazy, but
Like
if that thing's able,
Jirachi walls Always, bro. Like at +2, it just walls. I'm not even kidding.
but I'm saying if like it comes up against if like Jirachi goes down, then like if the flying dust is sort of able to like easily like spam all over his team. But yeah, I think the offensive synergy of his team's good. I think there's like some good defensive synergy here as well.
Even with the flying type weaknesses, he still has Weavile, which can just
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is a solid draft all around, especially the amount of times he got sniped. I think he really managed to pull it back.
I think that's the last I think that's
the
word you say about it is solid.
Yeah.
The thing with this is, I'm scared of what he wanted to draft if he got sniped.
Right.
this much.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he still got this team.
Absolutely. So I think we're gonna move right on to number 2 in the draft. We're getting down to it, boys. Getting down to it. To the Washington Braviaries and Rai. The team is Aegislash, Greninja, Mega Medicham, Tangrowth, Nidoqueen, Florges, Savali, Blastoise, that is regular Blastoise, Healess, Talonflame, and Tyrantrum.
This is such a Rai team, bro.
I don't know anything about Rai, so you go right on ahead.
I know Rai, but
let
like,
us know.
This is such a Rai team. I can just tell this is such a Rai team. I've played with Rai before. Like I've played him twice, I think. And no, I've played him once. I don't really know. I do know Rai a lot. I've played against him. I've seen him in DPL a lot. I think this is really. I think Medicham really fits him. Greninja really fits him. Aegislash is really good in general, and it's really good in his team. He drafted really well with bulk offense together. Valley got buffed, which is really nice. Blastoise got heavily buffed. I would know. I'm losing to it this week. Yeah, I just think it's a right draft, and I can't complain about it because it's a really good draft. I think solid. Like it's got a nice defensive backbone. It's got a nice offense. It doesn't really have a lot of speed tier gaps. I don't think. Like looking at it now, I don't see them much.
I can't really see
like maybe between Greninja and whatchamacallit, Heliolisk, you can say there's maybe a bit of a gap. Like maybe.
No, I think he's fine. I don't think anything.
Like it's not exploited in like an adamant modest sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know what you mean by that. Well, that's like a really niche tier.
22 to 109.
Yeah. And does he? Yeah, he does a pretty good removal. So he has Forges and Savali and Talonflame, which would be nice.
Yeah,
and Blastoise
and
Ramspin.
That's decent.
Yeah, I think it's a really good draft overall, and I think it fits Rai well.
Yeah, I think he has like some. I think my only real complaint that I had is that I think if Tangrowth goes down, round spam could be a bit of an issue. So I think that and Talonflame are only round checks.
I mean, Blastoise.
And he has like a good. Yeah, that's true. Like Blastoise is pretty fat, but doesn't have recovery as such. And I think he has like a couple of like ground weak ones like Tyrantrum, Aegislash, Nidoqueen, and Heliolisk. So that could be an issue. But I think he's okay in that sense. I think we could see, I don't know how comfortable he's with Tyrantrum, but if he is, this might not be an issue. But I feel like we might see a lot of Nidoqueen with rocks. But I'm basically just I'm nitpicking at this point because it's I don't really see too many
I think
like,
Rock's
probably-
Nidoqueen actually fits really well in this team.
Yeah, like yeah, exactly. Like
It's not
Nidoqueen's like
forced to
such
be
a reliable
offensive on
offer
this.
anyway.
Yeah, it's not forced to be offensive on this team either because he
Yeah.
obviously has plenty of it all around. So, but yeah, we got anything else on this team? I mean, you guys know, or I mean, at least Has knows how much I love Savali. Momentum.
Yeah,
is
it even got
like,
buffed this gen, so that's
yeah,
nice for it.
But just all that into like a Mega Medicham, just Jesus, good luck.
Yeah,
Like,
I think the picks of Medi, AG, and Greninja are just really good.
It works so well, I think, with his with the Florges Nidoqueen Tangrowth core plus Savali. I love Florges Tangrowth too. Absolutely love that core. I mean, obviously he's a little weak to poison, but Savali covers everything. So.
Mm. Oh, and there's obviously Nature Slash there.
Yeah, well, I forget about the defensive capabilities of Age/2, but are you guys ready to move on to number one? I'm depressed that this guy.
I have one question. I have one. Do you think with Age/Slash's nerfs, so it's now 140 defenses and attacks, and the fact that it's King Shield is now -1, so -2. Do you think that like hinders it all that much, or do you still think it was worth taking early on?
I mean, it's of course it was broken before, so I don't think it's that bad.
I mean, so you're saying that those are its nerfs, but it got close combat.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
you know,
that helps a little bit too. But,
I mean, it got nerfed, but it was broken before, so it's like still good now.
Right. So it's still, I think it's still right in that middle ground, like right in that between broken and great. I think it's just gonna be great in draft in general. I mean, the typing's good, the ability to King Shield is amazing, the stabs are amazing, SD plus close combat plus Steel Ghost coverage is fantastic. So. Priority.
I mean, you can say it did get close combat, but close combat's only get buffed to its offensive sets in a sense.
Right.
Whilst most of those nerfs are to like its defensive sets.
I mean, 140 is still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Still pretty damn good.
Well, I thought it was worth bringing up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but I think it got nerfed to a point where it's like, hey, we can let this Pokemon in, and it can still be a, round 1, round 2 person or Pokemon, and still be good. So,
no, that's fair enough.
I think it's fine in round 1, especially when you pair it with like a Mega Medicham. Like, you're
good, bro.
Well, you're good. Good job. Like, good draft. So let's go to number 1. Depressed. Were you depressed about number 1?
Yeah.
Like, why do we keep letting this guy be good at drafting? So we have the Los Angeles Larviters and Jack. It's Jack. Blah blah blah. Jack's good at Pokemon. Blah blah blah. Do we even need whatever? Zeraora, Hydreigon, Scizor, Mega Diancie, Nidoking, Reuniclus, Chestnut, Arcanine, Araquanid, Cofagrigus, Arctovish. Yeah, screw you, Jack.
You can hear the disappointment in Jjbizzle's face.
Dude, I'm just tired of him winning everything.
You do have to remember now. He's the commissioner now. He like runs the place. You could be out of a job if you criticize too much.
When have I cared about anybody in authority?
That's true.
I don't in my real life. I don't here. I do not care.
I mean, not your girlfriend anyway. That's what I heard.
Well, that's different. That's completely different. That's not authority. That's called like God. Basically.
Dictatorship.
Yeah, that's a dictatorship, man. I don't got any power there. So, do you want to go ahead and start on this?
Okay.
This
all right.
Jack
so,
team. This is totally a Jack team too. This is totally a Jack team too, by the way.
Yeah, like all the mons here are just disgusting. Like I think Zera's like one of the only few electric types which I think you could argue got buffed because it got like Play Rough, Aura Sphere, Blaze Kick. Am I missing anything?
I don't think they probably.
I think yeah, it probably got something else as well. But yeah, it's just really good. Maybe it's like no slight in the special set, but the physical set is just top notch now. I'll say. Mega Diancie's really, really good as well. I think Hydreigon with its buffs is with stuff now can DD and Nasty Plot just makes it really, really like unpredictable mod.
Oh, you have no idea. Because I think it can be defensive too. That's why I love about Hydreigon the most. Is it
can basically do anything now.
It's disgusting now.
Like maybe once before you thought like your Sylveon was a comfortable check, and then it's like a DD physical set, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it gets what Iron Tail?
Yeah, I guess Iron Tail. So that's getting bopped to existence. Okay, all right. I think Sizzle without hidden power fire. We also talked about the megas
yeah.
and such. That's been I think like Sizzle's gonna be really really good, and he has like some really good like comfort like solid like core mons like Arcanine, Nidoking, Reuniclus,
Yeah.
which got cosmic power. So that
Disgusting.
thing's gonna be a bitch.
Yeah.
One
And
thing,
Kofag sort of.
one thing that is kind of annoying for him is that he only has 2 rockers and both of them are offensive, but he has a lot of other hazards.
Yeah,
to
he
make
has
up for it.
spikes and T spikes.
Yeah, and webs as well.
Yeah.
You also mentioned that Araquanid is your only water, except for Arctofish, of course. Is not the best, but I liked it. So
Arctofish
I
gets
don't know.
water absorbed too, so I mean.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
a
Yeah, I
huge
think.
water weakness.
No, I mean as a bulky water in general.
Right.
So like what I said. But either way, I think Araquanid was still pretty good. I like it here. I just like Jack's
Yeah,
draft.
but
I don't really have a lot.
he gets.
I
Web,
don't have a lot
he gets
of-
a webs option with like things like Nidoking now, and even Mega Dancing
Yeah.
likes webs too.
I don't have a lot. The thing is, I don't have a lot to say about Jack's draft. It's just a really good draft.
I just think he's a
Even
bleep.
even though he's a number 1 team, I still have like some criticisms about this draft. Maybe because I'm nitpicking. I think he only gets 2 mons above base 100. There's a lot of like 90 mons, like stuff like Hydreigon and Arcanine and such.
Right.
I think like maybe another faster mon over. I think Arctovish could maybe be swapped out for a slightly better mon. Maybe like maybe another faster mon. Maybe
like a
something
flex.
that gets maybe like another fast rocker. Maybe. I think his removal's okay. It's Hydreigon and Sizzle, and I guess you could argue that like Hydreigon has like a lot of moves it can run now, but I think it and Sizzle are still like really solid removers.
Yeah, and Diancie has Magic Bombs as well. Which
Exactly. So I think he's okay in that sense.
And I think with how his team looks, his opponent's more so going to be pressured to defog.
Yeah, I can't really see like any like type weaknesses and such. I guess the only thing I'd say is like maybe get something else that's pretty fast, but yeah, it's still a good draft.
Maybe you can say he doesn't have a. I wouldn't say not like a true breaker. Like he doesn't have anything that's like you can't switch into this thing. makes sense.
Nidoking Hydreigon.
Yeah, I obviously I'm being very nitpicky. Like I mean, but
Even
those,
Reuniclus.
I mean, I'm saying like obviously, I think they need items to do so. Like obviously Life Orb, Reuniclus, Nidoking are outstanding. Specs Hydreigon's a great breaker, but like I'm saying like maybe like a Hoopa Unbound type. Where you're not switching.
Mega Diancie a pretty
Yeah,
good breaker.
I agree, but I know I'm wrong, but I'm trying here. Give me a break. Like this is the #1 team for a reason. I'm obviously wrong, but I'm trying to play devil's advocate here.
All right, look. If we're saying any weaknesses, it's the coach. It's the coach, of course.
Well, yeah.
3D.
Well, no. The annoying
Only
that's
three.
the annoying part though is you give such a balanced team with not many holes with this kind of attacking core with all these options, and you give it to Jack. It's like, all right, bleep off.
Nah, it's okay. He'll do bad because he has to commission stuff. He
Yeah,
has
he
to
has
do
off the
more
field issues. Off the field issues.
Yeah,
He's not
exactly.
going to perform as well.
That's gonna mean he's gonna get relegated.
Right. All right. Do you guys have anything else on the #1 squad?
Nah.
Nah.
Has
I
you
think it's a
you
good
should have
squad.
done a recap screen. You jerk off.
Oh yeah. Well, you can just go back and.
Okay, that's difficult. That's more.
That's what you do
difficult.
every season.
I know. So we have starting from 16 down. We have KHD, Babano. We have JJ's Gals. We have Ian, TC, JP, Spoink, Chaz at 9, Luke at 8, Parksy at 7, Stipe at 6, 6 Hacks at 5, Hiker Toad at 4, Max at 3, Riot at 2, and our #1, well, of course, is Jack. So that is the PRs. Just a quick note. I don't know if you guys have anything else to say before we get on up out of here. But there will be a recap every week of every single game in every single division from me. That is coming.
Oh.
So I will recap every single game. It'll probably be short, just with some highlight plays of every game because I don't want to be there for 2 hours doing every single battle.
You're going to be very frustrated of seeing some of the games I've already played this week.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
You don't want to go through Swarm right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
some of
God.
the small games.
Well, don't just let me watch them.
Okay.
I'll try to do like a recap screen, and I might do just like a like an after. I'll just do like because we have a big scoreboard, or not a scoreboard, but a standings, right? Like with all our So
Yeah.
I'll do that at the end, so just everybody can watch the video and stay on point with all the drafts, see where everybody's at and all the leagues and that stuff. So yeah, but we're gonna get the heck up out of here. You guys got anything to say?
Hi.
Bleep Jack.
Oh, don't forget to subscribe.
Oh yeah, click
Don't
that
forget to
subscribe button if you guys want the
like,
video.
comment,
There should
Share
be
it with your mom.
There should be
Yep.
more videos for Swarm and PP coming soon as far as power rankings from different guys. So yeah, we're gonna get the heck up out of here, guys. Peace.
Later.